Hey, welcome, y'all. It's that time of the year. It's time to talk about tickets for the Great Taste of the Midwest. Uh, in my opinion, the biggest, baddest beer festival in the Midwest, especially in the spring. It's the biggest beer event in Wisconsin. And I'm here with the chairman, Doug Randall. And we're going to talk about the ticket sales, y'all. It's very, you know, there's a lot of details here, and some of them move year per year. So it's always good and nice to have Doug here for y'all. Thanks, Doug, for appearing.
Absolutely, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Excellent, excellent. So let's jump in. So ticket sales start on May the 4th, y'all. That's Star Wars Day.
It is
So
Star Wars Day.
yeah, and it's a Sunday. So I don't so then you see here it's a Sunday. We will get to the locations with Greg, who is head of ticket in-person ticket sales in a minute here, but I'm going to keep the chairman here while we have him, and we're going to talk about this the overall ticket. So there's two Doug, I don't know if you want to actually I'll tee you up. Do you want to talk about the two different ways that people could attain tickets this year?
Yeah, absolutely, Greg. So as we've done historically and traditionally, we are doing in-person ticket sales. It's a way for us to partner with our local brewery sponsors to bring them some sales and show them some love, and for people to have a great time. There's a lot of fun that happens at in-person ticket sales sites. Uh, this year we're at 6 sites. I know that you and Greg are going to talk about that, so I'm going to leave that for him. But there is another way that people can buy tickets for the event. This is our 38th annual Great Taste of the Midwest, and we are doing for the third year running now an online lottery. We had a long history of doing a mail order lottery that has moved to online. And you can see that in the link that Greg's got on the screen here, lottery.greattaste.org. So that's how you're going to go and get it. The lottery opens at 10 a.m. on Monday, May 5th, and closes at 10 p.m. on Friday, May 9th. I believe that's the
And
9th.
Yep. And
Um,
we'll go into greater detail, Doug, if you don't mind. Later, we'll
yeah,
pull that up after
sounds
the
great.
in-person ticket sale conversation I'll have with Greg. But I there's no ticket sales at the gate. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Correct. The Great Taste of the Midwest has been a sellout event for more than a decade. Um, Possibly two. I'm not sure off the top of my head when we started getting to the point that we sold out. I remember in the early years when I was first starting to go to the festival that you could buy tickets um, for a longer period of time than just a few hours on the first Sunday in May. Uh, so it's been a minute since we've had that as an opportunity, but tickets are not available day of at the door or at the gate for either general admission or for designated drivers. So your opportunity to buy tickets is either in person at one of our brewery partners in Madison, Wisconsin, or through the online lottery.
Absolutely. And we will talk about possibly a third way later, but we'll talk about that later. So
Yeah.
pricing, Doug. I've always found that the pricing was on point, and I've always found that I always find that this is worth it for beer drinkers, because there's just no place that you can have access to all of the different breweries that we have attending, at a price like this, all in one place, all in a beautiful location. It's just great. But I don't know if you want to talk about the individual pricing itself, and has it moved recently, Doug? And how's that determined?
It hasn't actually. We try to keep the price as reasonable as we can. Um, the price this year and has been for a number of years now is $70 per general admission ticket, $20 for a designated driver ticket. The $20 designated driver did increase a few years back, but it's still a pretty fair price. There's a number of breweries that bring NA options, and you're as a designated driver ticket holder, you're more than welcome to experience any of those NA offerings. Anything from NA beer, because we do have an NA brewery that comes to the festival now. I think that's our second year. We've got a number of breweries that bring hop water. and a number of breweries that bring craft sodas as well. So there are definitely some options for the designated drivers to have a good day and be there to take their friends home safely. And getting home safely is a big thing for us.
Yes, yes. I don't know if you want to talk about transportation options and the things that we prefer here at the club that y'all do getting back and forth.
I'd love to. We work with local establishments for shuttle bus service, and shuttle bus service comes from, for example, all four of the Great Dane locations in Madison, Wisconsin have a shuttle. The Vintage location in West Madison has a shuttle, and we're working on more locations this year still. Those conversations are ongoing. We have a coordinator for that effort as well. We do offer a $5 cab ride from the park. So if you take a cab to get to the park, that's something that you can do, but we don't help you with that. Getting home, though, we want to make sure that people get home safely. So those shuttles are free. They take you to a place that has food. So go get some food. The Madison has 2 cab companies at this point, and we partner with Union Cab. That number is on the wristband of every patron that's at the festival. So they've got an easy access to it. But there's also a cab queue, a line that people can go to wait in line and take the next cab that comes. And we partner with Union Cab so that they've got extra drivers on for us dedicated to the event. That $5 cab, it's $5, is going to take you anywhere within the Dane County border. It will take you past the Dane County border, but anything after the border is on you as far as the cost goes. We only pay for the $5, get you the $5 deal to the border. And then we do ask that you tip responsibly, right? A 30-minute cab ride can go as much as $80. So that cab driver is taking time out of their day, and they do take tips. So please tip those cab drivers appropriately.
Excellent points. And lastly, here before we break and go over to, we're going to have a sponsor break, y'all, and then we'll talk to Greg real quick about each individual location and how they're unique and what we could do at each one's because each one has a different profile. Actually, I would love to tee you up, Doug, on where does the general admission money go to outside of course organizing this big wonderful event and all those things. Where do the proceeds generally go to, and how does that work?
Absolutely. So the event is the Madison Homebrewer and Tasters Guild. It's our only fundraiser, and those funds go to pay for the club's programming. So things like education nights, and those can include everything from comparisons of different varietals of hops, wort transformation projects that we do in conjunction with local breweries. We have a 1-barrel brew system that we're working to bring online, so that we can do some of those things within the club as well, where we make a batch of wort and then everybody takes home a portion of that wort and does things with it, and we bring it back together and we taste it and sample it and talk about it. But in addition to obviously putting on the festival itself, which is a grand undertaking, we go through, is a fun fact, and just as one example of many things, we go through 60,000 pounds of ice in a one-day event. That's 2 tractor trailers full of ice. It's a lot of ice. And it's got to be paid for by somebody, but it's paid for by those tickets that we sell. But the other thing that it does, Greg, is we have a commitment to the community for $35,000 in charitable giving. That charitable giving goes to things like food equity. It goes to things like recovery programs with Tellurian here in Madison, Wisconsin. It goes to other things that members, because it is the members of the club that submit those charitable giving requests. So we've given to things like Wort is an annual recipient of our generosity, and the Ice Age Trail is another example. So we try and give back to the community because the community supports us as an organization. Wilmar, the Wilmar Center, Wilmar Neighborhood Center, I should say, is it's also a benefactor of our charitable giving programs.
Yes, and as a person who's been on that committee, I would have to say, y'all, we meet every month, once a month, and there's a vetting process, and people get to submit different charities to that. and they get approved. And they get approved on a money scale, and there's a gradient, and there's all kinds of there's a matrix and everything going on. So it's really really important to the club, y'all, that there's a connection with the community. So your money, your $70, not only is it going to you being able to attend a wonderful festival, but it's also giving back to our community. So hats off to the Madison Homebrewers and Tasters Guild for being very very socially conscious, and that's one thing that I really enjoy about being a club member. So
And same.
Go on, Doug.
Same. No, I
Yep.
was just going to chime in and agree with you. It's one of the best things about the club is how community focused we are.
Amen. So 2 more technical questions, and then we'll get to
Sure.
to Greg. So number 1, how many breweries are we expecting in 2025?
We are hoping I'd love to see us get to that 200 mark. It's a threshold that we've been trying for actually several years now. But that 200 mark is a little bit elusive because there's always somebody that has something happen. Life happens, as they say. And so somebody with a car that breaks down or a last second health concern that arises ends up causing some breweries to not be able to make it. And so we're still striving for 200. And then the other one I think you're about to ask me is how many tickets, right?
Yes, sir.
And so we allocate 6,000 tickets for our public sales, and that's our in-person sale, that's our online lottery, and we've been able to sell out on both of those every year for a long time now.
All right. I'm going to give you one chance here to talk about our venues. We're going to go into detail with Greg here in a couple minutes, or a minute or so. But if you have anything overarching to talk about that, as a chairman, here's your opportunity, and then we will get to Greg, and then we're going to come back later to talk about the second portion, because it's like a two-part contest here for tickets.
Sounds
so
great.
anything about the destinations that you would like to speak on?
Starkweather's new. Working Draft is still pretty new. They were first timer last year for us. Giant Jones, I think, is in their second or third year. Carbon 4 Vintage, they've been around for a long time as partners for us, ever since we moved to sales at brewery model back around 2018. Delta Beer Lab is also new. They are in their fourth year.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it might be fourth year. I was actually the ticket captain at that site for the first year that we did it, and that was 2022. Now that I remember it, 2022. So they're in their fourth year. So that's 22, 23, 4, and 5. So this is their fourth year.
All right. So, or any more, Doug? I'm sorry.
No, I'm good.
Okay, cool. So, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna get a sponsor in here real quick, y'all, and then we will be back with Greg to talk about each individual location, and then Doug's gonna join me after Greg, and we're going to sum up the rest of what we have for Great Taste. So, time for a sponsor, y'all. Right. So I'm here with Greg, who is the in-person ticket sales team lead. Thanks for that there, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to remember that. For the Great Taste of the Midwest. What's up, Greg? It's Greg and Greg, and I'm excited to talk to you about this.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, Greg, thanks for having me, and thanks for everyone out there watching this. We're going to be talking through all of our different venues.
Yes, and we'll start with we're going to do this in alphabetical order, y'all. Doug and I spoke vaguely about the locations. Actually, Greg, let's start here. So here's our overall picture of our in sales look here. On the bottom there, y'all seeing the scrolling. It's been scrolling the whole time. It's greattaste.org/tickets. You can find all this information whenever you need it. We have 6 venues this year. I don't know, Greg, if you want to speak to the venues at large, just in general, or you just want to jump in and talk about Delta.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can talk about it at large. And then also for information, like where this slide is coming from, the ticker at the bottom has our website, so greattaste.org/tickets. You can get all this information at that location. So all of our venues, as you can see, are local beer producers, and that's kind of the message we're trying to send with our ticket locations. Is we want to focus on beer producers, and right now, in the Madison area, and these are outstanding breweries that have made impact in the community, and it's kind of like a criteria of being a location. And so we're really happy to be partnering with these locations. For those of you that have done ticket purchase in person in the past, you might see Starkweather is a new one. So really excited that they're joining the family this year as a location.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So am I. So let's jump in, buddy. Let's go to one of my favorite breweries in Madison area is Delta Beer Lab, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
It's on 167 East Badger Road. It's right off the Beltline. There's no camping at this point. Y'all can show up at 6 a.m. It says here on Sunday to get in line. They start wristbanding at 7 a.m. and Greg's gonna talk about the whole wristbanding thing right here soon as I'm done blurbing here. The ticket sales start at noon. And there's 600 tickets here. I believe that is the most tickets at one spot, but Greg can verify that here soon. Plenty of parking here, y'all. There's no problem with parking. It's in an industrial area, and none of the places are, from what I know, are in session, so people aren't working. So the parking here is a plethora of parking, and it's really easy access off of the Beltline. And it's on a Sunday, so the Beltline is not going to be as wild and willy as it normally is. So that's really good. They open up at 7. It says here, y'all. For wristband patrons only, so you can get some beer there. The first 70 in line will line up in a brewery in case it's really cold. They got 14 wonderful craft beers on tap there. It looks like there's going to be a food truck. I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but it'll definitely be there for lunch. And the Capitol Petrol, which is kind of close, y'all, opens at 6 if you want to grab something while you're en route. What's going on with Delta, Greg?
Yeah. So as you stated, it's one of our earliest locations. It's also, I know historically, this is the brewery that broke the mold. This was the first no camping location. Camping kind of was a must-have for ticket locations in the past.
Staple.
But as times change and demographics change, and just we realize we have to go with the flow, right? So Delta said, hey, we don't, our landlord won't really allow camping due to the neighborhood and other businesses in the area. And so we went with the no camping model, and it's been successful. We've been there for several years now. And it is one of our higher ticket quantity locations. I believe both Vintage and K4 both have 600, but we will see that on the slides coming up. So they will have the accurate numbers on it. So basically how the wristbanding works is, so there's 600 tickets available here, which translates to 300 wristbands. So essentially what happens is you show up, and at 7 a.m., our crack team of ticket sellers from Madison Homebrewers and Tasters Guild will be handing out wristbands, starting with wristband number 1 going for this location up to wristband 300. Basically, that is to ensure that you are able to buy, you are allowed to buy a maximum of 2 tickets. Ticket prices are $70 this year. And then you are also able to buy 1 designated driver ticket, which is $20.
Excellent. And I don't know if you wanted to talk about any of the amenities here at Delta before we move on.
Yeah, absolutely. I know one of the exciting things is it's kind of, I saw a lot of excitement on social media about it too. The Aloha food truck. So I believe it's, I think it's Hawaiian themed food. So that sounds really awesome for just that morning. And the Delta beers are amazing. I'm not 100% sure exactly what's going to be on tap. I hope the Nitro Porter is on tap. That's one of my favorites currently. But you'll just have to show up and see. really, Pio and Speedy and Bradley and the crew, they just do an amazing job at Delta, and they cannot wait to serve you a beer Sunday morning.
Excellent. And with that, we can move on unless you have anything else for Delta. Again, all of these details are available on greattaste.org/tickets at the bottom there, y'all. Or you can Google Great Taste and it'll take you there. And then there's a big little sign that says tickets, and you can get on there. So one of my favorite places in the world is Giant Jones. So it looks like another place that's no camping. Giant Jones has been they're one of our newish ones, if that makes sense. You can get there at 7, y'all. And Delta was 6, so you can get there at 7. An hour later, we're going to be wristbanding. The tickets are at noon, and we got 400 tickets there. Y'all are available, so it's 200 bands, to make sure we can get to. Here we go with some live music at 10 a.m. here. 16 Giant Jones beers. It looks like we have some food. Vegan brunch starts at 8 a.m. and the tasting room opens at 8 a.m. like an hour after it looks like the line forms. What's going on here at Giant Jones, Greg?
Yeah, absolutely. So Jessica, Erica, Mari, and crew are doing a jazz brunch type deal this year. Last year it was, I think, bluegrass. So this year they're jazzing it up a bit. So really looking forward to this one as well. The food will be from local. There might be more than just the vegan brunch there. I know there's maybe Level 5 Donuts might go. I know there's a lot of other businesses within that incubator space, and so they might be having some offerings as well. But again, big show. A big thing here is the music and obviously the beer. I mean, both Greg and I can attest. Jess just makes some outstanding, stronger, ABV stuff, and it's wonderful stuff. I mean, just another excellent brewery we have here in town.
Amen. And I think parking at Giant Jones can be tricky on a regular day, but I believe we're Greg, can you verify if we're allowed to park in that parking lot that we see here, which is next to that industry thing there? I'm pretty sure you can.
There might be some. I know that they're going to be blocking off the street, usually from Maine.
Barely.
So there might be some barricades. So my recommendation is there's plenty of street parking around the area, and then a short little walk.
It will be on a Sunday too. Usually I try to go there on Saturday, and then we got the Old Sugar there, and we got restaurants and all kinds of other things going on. So that it's kind of tricky sometimes, during a Saturday or a normal day, but on a Sunday it should be kind of cleared out. So
hopefully I know there's a bit of. Sorry, Greg. I know there's a bit of construction going on in that area too. Just be mindful of that. But yeah, as you're saying, Greg, it's a Sunday. It should be a little more cleared out. So you should be able to find some parking. Even if not, again, you go one block one way or the other, you'll find some parking. It's a great neighborhood with plenty of street parking.
Yes, and it's very walkable. The note here, y'all, no camping at Giant Jones. There's really no place for it. So so if you want to camp, we will talk about that coming up here. And also if Greg is good to move on, we will move on to Carbon 4. Now, here we go with the camping, y'all. So number one detail here. So Carbon 4 is on on the far, I would call it the far east northish side. It's on 3698 Kinsman Boulevard. There's camping allowed here, y'all. So look at this, y'all. The line can form 1 p.m. on Saturday, y'all. The wristbanding will take place in the morning on Sunday, though, y'all. 8 a.m. The ticket sales are at noon again. We got 600 tickets here, so we got plenty of room for camping. We got plenty of we got the looks like, I think, the most tickets. I saw 600 over at Delta, so we got 600 here. And then the tap room, y'all need no cash sales and no ATM. So bring your credit cards. But the tap room is going to be open, as you see right there. The next line, y'all, open till bar time on Saturday, and then opening up 8 a.m. when the wristbanding starts. So you'll have Carbon 4 and Ale Asylum beers, which we are all familiar with, or if you're not, I'm not sure if you're coming in town, the only reason you're not, but I mean, we all know Ale Asylum Carbon 4 beers. We don't really have to belabor that point. There's going to be a special beer release too, and there's going to be food on site at 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., and I'm pretty sure one of the things that has come back at Carbon is their wonderful tacos, y'all. Before the pandemic, they used to have almost a full service, kitchen in that little cubbyhole kitchen. They used to pump out some of the best tacos that you could get at any brewery around here. So I think that's coming back. Greg, what did I miss? And what else is going on? Because this is a fun venue. This is one of those where it's almost like a bottle share type family, beer family community event, with the camping and everything. So, and camping was, kind of went away during COVID, y'all. So it's back. If you're a camper, this is one of your places.
Absolutely. So yeah, so definitely one of the big camping spots. Camping and bottle shares have been a very fun aspect of Great Taste Ticket Sale weekend. I know before I got involved with this wonderful organization, I was one of the campers here at Carbon 4. I was in a tent and shared many libations with a lot of friendly people. K4, as Greg was saying, their kitchen is back open. I know that, I don't know if it's open yet. I know it's opening soon, but it will definitely be open for ticket sale weekend. Huge news. Don't exactly know their menu right now. And I also don't exactly know what their beer is that they're going to be, but I was releasing, I was told there's a special beer. Another special thing, since, they have the Ale Asylum brand there. So you're going to get to try some Ale Asylum beers if you haven't, or if you haven't had an Ale Asylum beer, since back in the day, it's a great time to try it again. But also, I want to share that since this slide was made back in March, K4 has announced that they're going to be doing some kind of beer Olympics. I don't exactly, if you go on their socials on Facebook, they have more details on their Facebook page. And I should say that all these venues have Facebook events for ticket sale weekend. So if you're interested and you kind of forget what exactly I said during this interview, you just go on Facebook, go to the venue, look for their events, and look what's going on May the 4th. And so that's another way to also remind yourself that, oh man, I got to get in line for tickets. So K4 is going to be just, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Are you done? That's cool. I didn't mean
I just want to say K4 again, like you said, fun one. The line basically changed from, I guess, previous. I believe American Freight is no longer in business, so now we're able to go up behind that building and loop instead of last year we kind of did like a zigzaggy thing, just like up front, but now we're just doing straight on back around the corner. So should be pretty easy for tent setup. Greg at Carbon 4, another Greg. There's gonna be a bunch of Gregs getting dropped in here. Greg at Carbon 4, tap manager. He's kind of shepherding the line with you'll be able to figure it out when you're setting up on Saturday. So excellent.
Yes. And a couple notes, y'all. As you can see there, the parking there's a plethora of parking. So don't be constricted by what we're normally thinking of when you go to Carbon 4, which is that front little part. Just go behind or the side, and there'll be plenty of parking there for people who are camping. And then there was another note that I wanted to make about Carbon 4, but I forgot. But it's going to be again camping. And it's I just had a really good time last year, going there and seeing the camping and just the camaraderie and the community that brings with that is really nice. So Greg mentioned that each event or each location has a Facebook event. Another benefit of that, y'all, is that you at least give us, and when I mean by us, people in the not only the event location, but the people in our club, an idea about, a little bit of an idea about who's going to be there. Of course, it's not, guaranteed, but it's nice to see people, enough people in there, and we can like, oh, we're going to have, a big turnout. We expect a big turnout everywhere. But that's not necessarily the case. And it's also really good if y'all want to see, kind of maybe gauge what, if you're not going to be camping, which one y'all want to try to hit to be in line so that you can make sure you get tickets on the day off. So there's a multifaceted reason for that. If you are on Facebook, for you to at least hit the interested or going button. So Carbon 4, one of our fun old school locations for Great Taste of the Midwest in-person tickets, y'all. So a new one here is Starkweather Brewing. They're on Atwood Avenue, y'all. There's no camping there. If y'all familiar with Atwood, they're camping. It's just so it's tight there. The line forms at 7 a.m. here. The wristbanding, again, it seems universal at everywhere at 8 a.m. So if you want to start, you want to be there early for the wristbanding, 8 a.m. is that time. Ticket sales, of course, noon. We got 400 tickets here, and that's pretty good for, the first year of a venue. 8 a.m. Also, they when a ticket wristbanding starts, you can go into the brewery, and wristbanded patrons only inside. We got 12, for lack of a better word, eclectic beers. Very, very Starkweather, if y'all haven't been there, Peter does a really good job at bringing beers that are just unique. Not that everybody else doesn't have unique beers, but Peter really stands out. Just his background, I believe, brings that element out there. So if you want some unique beers and some beers that you won't taste anywhere else, he generally goes off the line a lot with his beers in a good way. He's got 12 there. And he's going to have a special beer, and that looks great. And we got a coffee coconut Kolsch. See, look, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. Like a coffee coconut Kolsch, like really. And that's just going to be a ticket sale release day, so that's going to be special. And then of course tachos are going to be there because that's a signature of Starkweather, and so are the wings. So if y'all wings and tot people, this is your place, right, Greg?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Peter is, yes, a very unique brewer. Definitely makes some unique beers. And a good friend to both Greg and I. Yeah, Starkweather. They're a newer brewery in town. Only opened a few years ago, and really hit it strong on the scene. 3 years. It's crazy. Time goes by so fast, and so come visit Olin Park is the name of the beer. If you didn't know, the Great Taste occurs at Olin Turville Park on the second Saturday in August. It's a very special location, very special. There you go. That was one of our logos. The 1 year kind of shows the beauty of the park overlooking the Capitol and the lake. And so with Starkweather, the one thing I wanted to state was, the Tacho bar is supposed to be pretty awesome, and and then like later on in the day, wings I don't know if wings will be available in the morning, but highly recommend the wings there for sure. I know I've gone there quite a few times. Go for the wings, stay for the beer. No, I'm just kidding. Go for the beer and the wings. It's a wonderful location. It's right off of Atwood. There is parking around the area. As you can see, we are kind of taking up the one side of the parking lot there for the camping. And then actually that's right at the edge there of the parking area. It's going to be like coned off. So like so it'll be nice, and it'll be capped on the other end too. So there might be some parking on the other side of the building as well. So, but also again, great neighborhood. There is plenty of parking around the brewery, and then you're just within walking distance.
Amen. Amen. And Starkweather is, again, very walkable to people in that area. So if y'all near in that area, it's probably, one of the great ones. Parking's going to be a little problematic here. Maybe I would even say maybe the most out of all of them. But if you get there, I mean, again, we're talking Sunday, so like, we're not going to have the regular commercial traffic and the people working. So you should be fine. Side streets I found when I go to Starkweather, in case the parking lot is full. And then they got some they share a parking lot, it seems like, with some of the residents. So make sure if you see a parking space, make sure you read it, that it doesn't, it says, good for the brewery, because it's really marked, y'all. So just, take a little thing on that. But again, the tachos and the beer and the wings, it's a really good time there. So we're moving on to one of my favorite places in the world is Vintage Brewing Company. I have my birthday party, numerous birthday parties at a Vintage. The Vintage we're talking about, though, y'all, is the Whitney Way one on the west side. This is, I believe, our only west side venue. Greg can verify that. And camping is back. Camping was there before. We kind of had one of the coordinators was not around last year, so we weren't able to have camping. But so the line forms on Saturday, y'all. And another advantage of Vintage is the Vintage is the only dedicated full service restaurant. So that I'm pretty sure we have on the list. Now we have other pop-ups, and we got food trucks and all these things going on. So there's food everywhere, though. But this is a full whole restaurant, y'all, with a great menu. And you can get that starting on Saturday once you start your camping. Just like everywhere else, y'all, we got 8 a.m. For the Sunday. The wristbanding starts noon. The tickets start. This is all kind of uniform, as I'm noticing here. 600 tickets, so we got a bunch. We have enough for a lot of y'all to camp here. There's a lot of parking here. There's a lot of There's a lot of things that are close here. There's a lot of walking things here. This is a really good menu at a really good spot with a great restaurant. Vintage is a great restaurant and has award-winning beers. They open up again or 8 a.m. for y'all. I don't think that's normal. So that'll be something that, or maybe it is. I'm not sure. But they have 30 beers on tap here, y'all. And they have food. The food will be. They open up at 8 a.m. when the wristbanding starts, but they also have food on site at 8:30. Greg, what did I miss about Vintage, and what are the highlights here, buddy?
Yeah. So as you stated, the wonderfully charismatic parking lot attendant Mikey will be returning this year, so camping will be back. I know he's excited, and really, you kind of hit the nail on the head with a lot of it. They have a full size kitchen inside, so they'll be cooking up some wonderful food starting at 8:30 on Sunday. Again, another wonderful camping location. A lot of memories. I mean, I know there's people, have been going to Vintage. Has been a really long-term ticket venue for us for a while now, and I know there's a lot of dedicated folks that go there for their tickets. It's a wonderful place. Both Greg and I, we know, the Vintage crew really great. And again, yeah, award-winning beer. I mean, whatever kind of style of beer you like, I'm sure they have it at Vintage. Scott is a madman in the brewery. Him and his crew making some outstanding brews of all different styles, and really you can't go wrong. Can't go wrong at Vintage. You can't go wrong at any of the venues, really. But big ticket quantity here. So if you're a veteran of camping and you're looking at somewhere to go, and West Side or East Sider, kind of have two great locations to choose from. And if you haven't done camping before and you're really kind of interested about it, go check it out. It's kind of funny, and it's a good way to meet new people. The Madison beer community, it's amazing, and even outside of Madison, the people that attend the Great Taste are just some of the greatest people there are in the world. It's really a family event. not just us at NHG. It's the breweries, it's the beer drinkers that come every year. We're all one big family, and I love seeing everybody. This on ticket sale weekend, you'll probably see me. I'll be bouncing from all the different locations, checking in, seeing how things are doing. So if you see me, I'll be wearing a shirt similar to this one that probably will say Greg on it, and I'll have this face. So feel free to say hello. And I really hope you found this informative, and I really hope to see you on Sunday.
Absolutely. And we have one final one, and certainly not least is
Sure.
Working Draft
Really?
Brewing Company on 1129 East Wilson, right around the corner from Giant Jones, y'all. There is no camping at this one. The line forms at 7 a.m. on Sunday. There's wristbanding at 8, of course, and then y'all know what I'm gonna say. The ticket sale started at noon. Yeah. And then we have 300 tickets here. Working Draft has got a couple really interesting and fun things. So if Giant Jones, if you can't find a parking, just keep rolling and go over to Working Draft. You should be able to, but they're really so close. So at 8 a.m. they're going to start the wristbands. Patrons only can go in. They're going to have 16 of their wonderful beers, lagers, IPAs. The range there is just really great. So it's at 16. Yep. We got a small batch beer release here too. The name will be certain May the 4th with a theme to it. So it'll be a Star Wars themed beer for you Star Wars fans out there. We're going to have a taco food truck. I said tacos, y'all. Breakfast tacos and other tacos too. So we're going to have food. Again, Working Draft is a brewery. They're not a restaurant like Vintage, but they're going to have enough food for y'all. If that, one of your places, I mean, really the spectrum of different beers and and the quality of beers are really, really good at all of these. So Greg, I don't know if you want to Working Draft, before I get to Greg real quick. Parking should be fine. Again, on Sunday, right there, right in front of there, the whole street there is a really good parking, and then we got side streets. I'm not sure about in there, y'all, as y'all can see, there's probably like I always get lucky when I go there, so I always get like 8, but I go there on off times. It looks like there's like 8 or 10 spots there, y'all. But so plan to park, do the street parking on Working Draft. And any notes on Working Draft, Greg?
Yeah, so definitely our last one we'll be talking about, certainly not least, amazing brewery. Clinton crew do such an amazing job, just cranking out some excellent lagers, excellent IPAs, excellent beers all in general. So big one, big thing about this one, taco food truck. I mean, you had me at taco, right? I mean, breakfast tacos, you kidding me? Oh, can't wait. This one is a smaller ticket quantity, so we're only have 150 wristbands, 300 tickets. That's mostly just because we kind of have to keep things in like the beer garden-esque area, kind of like the extended beer garden area. So that's why it's a little bit lower number than others. So, and the one thing, cannot confirm this, but I'm hoping. So I believe the anniversary is the weekend before for Working Draft. So maybe there might be some goodies left over from the anniversary party that might get on tap. We don't know. So you'll just have to show up and see. But really, again, great venues, great stuff going on. Whatever venue you choose, it's good. It's going to be amazing opportunity. I mean, everyone's doing something a little bit different, and it's really, that's what makes Madison special, right? Everyone does the things, their own little way, but really, it's all about that community.
Mm-hmm. Yes, amen to that. And so Doug and I are about to talk about online sales, but the lottery rate is better than it's been before, y'all. So if there's a reason why you can't make it on Sunday for family church, different things that are going on. Sunday's kind of a grab all day for getting things done, or you just want to kick your feet up and chill. There's always going to be the lottery, so stay tuned to hear Doug talk about that. But we're going to wrap here, Greg, on the in-person ticket sales. Is there anything that I missed or anything that we missed that you would like to put out there about in-person ticket sales for the Great Taste of the Midwest on May 4th?
No, I think we covered everything. Just as the ticker says down there, greattaste.org/tickets. If you're a Facebook user, definitely check out the different breweries' Facebook pages. Look at their events. Everyone has an event for ticket sales. You can use that as a reminder. And really, I just want to say have a wonderful, safe ticket sale weekend.
Yes, and we'll see all of y'all out at the Great Taste of the Midwest on August the 9th, right? Saturday, August the 9th. And we'll see y'all on ticket sales May the 4th. Check Badger Beer Report social media and check the Great Taste of the Midwest social media and the Madison Home Brewers and Tasters Guild media, because we will be broadcasting during that day, letting y'all know what's going on, giving y'all a look at the other places, because a lot of y'all will just be at one, but Greg and I and Doug plan to travel between them all and to show y'all what's going on live. We'll probably coordinate in a way that we may not actually see each other until lunchtime or something like that, but we just want to give y'all the full coverage about what's going on. So even if you wake up late, or you wake up at like 9 or 10 because you worked the night before, or you were at the or you worked the night before, you'll be able to at least tune in and see where y'all can get in for some in-person tickets, or where it's happening. We got bands, we got camping, we got full service restaurants, we have tacos, we have everything for y'all. So this shout out to the to the Madison Homebrewer and Tasters Guild, and Greg and Doug and the crew who are really putting this together, who take a lot of their volunteer time because it's a passion for them, and they just love this event, and they love the community around the event. And so just jump in, y'all. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully the weather cooperates on specifically on May the 4th. And then we'll talk about August when we get there. So thanks, Greg, for being here and getting everybody the knowledge that we need for the in-person ticket sales.
All right. Thank you so much, Greg, for having me.
All right, y'all. I'm back with Doug Randall, the chairman of the Great Taste of the Midwest. And now, Doug, I wanted to, you touched on it a little bit before, but now I really want to get into the ticket lottery. This, from what I know, changed drastically last year. It went from mail-in to only online, I think, but you're going to verify all that. And
Yes.
then, so let's, so then if y'all, for some reason, if May the 4th and the force is not going to be with you to be able to make it out to one of our 6 locations, it's a Sunday. That's a family day. Generally, it's a day off. Sometimes people don't want to, it's highly recommended, though, that you go out, because as Greg and I just spoke about, they got a lot of good things going on and it's going to be fun. But if y'all can't make it, and there's always been, I've always loved this about this festival too, is that there's a 2 option availability here. So Doug, I definitely want you to talk about the lottery, and there's some details here that I think people especially new to the process are going to need to know.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually in our 3rd year of online lottery. We had one partner for the lottery process the first year that we did it, which was 2023. And then we've partnered with Ticket Sign Up is who we're with these days. They were much more turnkey. And it's been a great process. They're a great partner to work with. They're part of the Run Sign Up group. So people that are marathoners or things like that may be familiar with what those websites look like. So it might look a little bit more familiar. We're in our 2nd year with Ticket Sign Up. And so that process is that a person goes into the website, lottery.greattaste.org. They'll enter in all of their personal information. They'll enter in their credit card information. They'll review their order, right? And if they're chosen in the lottery, then their credit card gets charged. So people are going to start to see those charges coming through the week after ticket sales closes. So the week after May 9th. So that's May 12th, if my Sunday math is correct today. That process is going to be the ticket price. So that's a $70 general admission or a $20 designated driver ticket. You can buy up to 2 general admission tickets and only 1 designated driver ticket per transaction. And it's 1 transaction per household. And we do look at that. We do pay attention to that. And then obviously anybody buying tickets for anything online these days is used to paying for fees. And it's an unfortunate thing, but it is the reality. So the fees that are associated with that purchase, those go to ticket sign up to pay for those fees. The best way to not pay any fees is to come in with cash and buy tickets at one of those 6 sites that you and Greg were just talking about.
Okay. It's it's absolutely simplified. I think from we won't talk the mail in, and I think that's good. Again, it shows our progress. Anything else about the lottery, Doug, or do we sum it up there?
I think we've summed up the lottery process. It's a credit card transaction, so you can use whatever debit card you like. I don't believe there's a limitation, but it's a day of decision, and we can get that detail. You can maybe scroll it across the bottom of the screen if you'd like. But that's week of, excuse me. So the lottery opens at 10 a.m. on May 5th, closes at 10 p.m. on the following Friday, May 9th. And everybody that registers in the online lottery is registered to win. And the lottery will be drawn. We do use random number generators and things like that in order to make that happen and keep things as fair as possible. And then people start seeing those credit card charges and they start wondering, okay, when's it going to come in the mail? But we are an all volunteer festival. So we get those out in our mail order process as soon as we can, but they don't hit the mail until closer to the end of May.
It's reminiscent of the old, y'all cashed my check, so I got tickets. Yes.
Very much so. Very much so.
All right.
But we've got a very good fulfillment team that fulfills all of those orders and stuffs the envelopes and all the things.
Yeah.
Those are all volunteers.
School, it's old school. Yes, y'all. So, patience is, ask for please here. But also though, at least you get that early sign of, you can see it on your, there's signs that you can get. So,